Hello all, welcome to the Art of Mindful Living. Hi Teju.
Hi, and welcome to the Art of Mindful Living.
So we are doing couplet 50 and also a recap of the chapter Domestic Life. Yeah Teju? Yeah. Let us start discussing couplet 50. Here it goes. vaiyathul vaazhvaangu vaazhbavan vaanurayum dheivathul vaikka. He who has lived in the virtuous domestic state on earth will be placed among the gods who dwell in heaven.
He who has lived in the virtuous domestic state on earth will be placed among the gods who dwell in heaven.
Yeah, Teju, we have already discussed about the householder's state and the virtue of the person in the domestic life and his duties and all that, right?
Yeah.
So in this couplet, as always, it comes as a conclusion from Thirukural that he says the person, a householder who has lived a virtuous domestic life, performing all the duties, will be placed as one of the celestial bodies in the heaven. Yeah. Meaning he will be elevated to a godly state even after he leaves his physical body.
Yeah.
But while on this earth also he will be glorified. Yeah. This is the meaning of this couplet. Now let us do a recap of all the couplets in this chapter, Domestic Life. Yeah. So Thirukural started off talking about the 11 duties of the householder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember them?
Yes. So the first duty was to look after the people who are acquiring knowledge. The second duty was to look after the people who are in the beginning of the ascetic life.
Yeah.
The third was to make sure the people who are in the ascetic life.
Yeah.
In the next couplet, the next three duties are to look after the people who have been abandoned by their children or people who don't have children, people in poverty, and people who have died and don't have anybody to do their last rites for them.
Yeah. Those are the first 6 duties. Yeah.
And then the next 5 duties in the next couplet are devoted to the mains, the celestial beings, guests and relatives, and oneself.
Yeah. And then finally for himself. Yeah. These are the 11 duties that a householder has to perform. And also the next couplet talked about the ways to acquire wealth, right? The truthful and honest ways of acquiring wealth. Yeah. And while acquiring wealth, he should have 2 things in mind, that he should fear the reproach of the people, and he should not become a sinner by acquiring wealth through untruthful and deceitful ways. Yeah. And then he should be very loving and truthful towards his family. Yeah. So that he can perform all the duties along with his spouse. Yeah. If love is the basic attribute of the domestic life, virtue would be the benefit we reap out of it, is the meaning of that couplet. And then finally, in the last 4 couplets, he emphasized the importance of leading a virtuous domestic life by comparing the domestic state with the other states of the human life. So he compared the virtuous domestic life with the other phases and said, the virtuous householder's state would be the most glorified and meritorious. Because he is the one who is the backbone of the society, because apart from doing and performing his own duties, he ensures the others are also doing their own duties in a virtuous way. Because the people in the other states of life, like the students and the people in the beginning of the ascetic phase and the ascetic phase, they wouldn't be able to go and acquire wealth, and the householder is the one who cares for them. And then he said a householder who leads a virtuous life, he doesn't have to even go to any other phase of life to be more virtuous than that. He is as good as an ascetic who performs penance. And then finally he gives a conclusion saying a virtuous householder would be glorified while on this earth and will be celebrated as one of the celestial beings even after he leaves his physical body. That is, he is elevated to a godly state because of the virtuous deeds he does in domestic state. So that is the recap of this chapter. Let us all meet with a new chapter in the next episode. Until then, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.